I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelley.
And we're
Sisters in Ebert.
Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
Oh, Mrs.
Doubtfire, 1993, Robin Williams classic.
This is a gem of a movie.
It is a gem of a movie. And I had not seen it in its entirety many times.
No,
in consecutive order.
Yes, yeah. You see all the
I've seen
clips.
all the pictures. Like,
yeah.
I've seen it. I would pick it up halfway through. I'd pick it up from the first half and have to leave. You know, all throughout childhood.
Yeah, but since childhood, I hadn't seen the
and
movie.
it was very enjoyable. Dare I say?
It holds up so well.
It holds up so well. Holds up so well. So, it's a Chris Columbus movie. We open up to that.
He makes some great ones.
He does. He did Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did Stepmom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right, because that was one of the facts in Stepmom, was like he did 2 major divorce movies. And
that's right.
Yeah. We did Stepmom as a look back last November sometime.
Yeah, go back
and check it out.
Watch.
It's in our archives. So we open to Robin Williams, who's recording opera singing and voices for a cartoon in the studio. Daniel, his name is Daniel in this movie. Daniel Hillard. And Daniel is getting in trouble for ad-libbing lines and walks out after objecting to the subject matter they were
smoking.
It was like forced smoking.
Yeah,
though.
like a cigarette ad, basically.
Yeah. And he's totally right, especially by today's standards. Like, we don't want to market cigarettes to kids. But
that's what he says. Like, you don't want kids seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good for them. And he's doing his fun Robin Williams.
Yeah. And I said, I wonder if this is like a conversation he's had before. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
So Daniel goes to pick up his 3 kids, his son's 12th birthday, a young Matthew Lawrence.
He's my favorite Lawrence.
Is he your favorite Lawrence?
Dare I say.
And Daniel says that he can have his birthday party, even though his mom said no because of his report card. So we're having a birthday party on the fly here.
Yep, on a school day.
Like it's like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Kids also guess that Daniel was fired, but he says he quit over creative differences.
So apparently this happens quite frequently. He cannot hold down a job. But he's very talented. He keeps finding jobs.
Yeah. Daniel gets a whole petting zoo to the house on a sidewalk on a busy street in San Francisco where they live. Like, it's just on the street, these animals.
Yeah.
And crates and stuff. Like, on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Cars flying by.
Yeah.
Miranda, who is Daniel's wife, Miranda Hillard, and that is Sally Field. And she is requested by Stuart Dunmire for her to do interior design on a high-dollar bed and breakfast that he's opening. Stuart Dunmire? So we get the sense there's a history, that they know each other, because he requested her. And Miranda is smitten until she receives a call from her neighbor about a situation at home. Because the nosy neighbor is mad that the rabbit is pulling up her flowers or something.
Yeah, one of the petting zoo animals.
It's a rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
her flower pot. Yeah. What are those things? Flower box.
Yes.
Yeah,
because we're in the middle of San Francisco.
Yes.
There's not exactly
by the sidewalk.
Here.
No, it's like sidewalk and then steps to your front door.
And they're on a hill.
Yeah.
They're on a big one.
Yes. So Miranda gets home ready to raise heck, and police are already there about animals and noise, which I don't know that I buy that.
Well, this neighbor.
But the animals weren't on the street, but they were contained, but it's just
it's also like company,
yes.
So they must have some sort of
something, yeah.
I don't know.
It was just a weird thing, but whatever. We can suspend our disbelief. The entire house is torn up by and Daniel's in the middle of it, just dancing on the table with the kid.
The house is
mess. Kids of all ages here for this 12-year-old's birthday party.
I don't know who sent out a guest list this late in the game either, but they all showed up. Nobody had soccer practice or basketball game on this afternoon.
Nobody had homework they needed to get done.
No homework, no ballet lessons. No, I can go to that party at this random 12-year-old's house. Sure.
Yeah. With no present. And, we'll just throw something together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So Miranda shuts the party down, and
Buzzkill.
and the parents fight about Miranda always having to be the bad guy. And Miranda says it's over and asks for a divorce. But again, it isn't like a big blow up. Like, she's very calm and she's like, no, this is over.
She's like, I put up with it long enough. Sorry, honey.
But the kids are listening on the stairs.
Yes.
As is tradition for these movies.
And Daniel's heartbroken. Yeah. Listen, he's like, no, what do you mean? Yeah. We can't do this.
Which you're led to believe this has kind of happened a few times before because he's like, oh, she'll cool down.
Yeah.
You know, like,
she ain't cooling down.
Daniel goes to his brother's house, who is Harvey Fierstein. I love him. I love him in everything he does. Yes.
He petitioned for this role. Like, he went to Rob Williams and said, like, could I please have a part? Like, because he heard he was supposed to have a gay brother.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I'm your man! So he went to him and was like, please, can I be in your movie?
Yes. And it makes me sad that, like, this probably isn't PC enough for today. But it was such a great scene! And it's like, it shows, like, them being normal. Like, I mean, that's, like, I hate tiptoeing around everything.
Yeah.
I hate
everything today is tiptoeing.
Yes.
Just march on through.
March on through. Blast the doors open. Be the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah!
I was just going to say, what does he say? Thank you. So he goes to his brother's house, who does makeup for movies and TV, and Daniel feels that Miranda isn't serious and that like this will blow over.
It'll be fine.
And he doesn't just do makeup; like he does like full on like movie like special effects makeup, stuff like that. Like he'll do like monsters and make young people look old
grotesque
and all things. However, we cut to custody family court, and Miranda gets sole custody, with Daniel getting 1 day a week, as Daniel has no employment or housing at the moment. Which, how quick did they get their court date?
I know, like, that was, I mean, they were wide open schedule, apparently.
I guess, and like, Daniel, you didn't see this coming, that you might want to get yourself a job, get in there, like, come on. So the custody order will stand for 3 months to give Daniel a chance to stabilize after he tries to object to the order, which was nice to see because the judge kind of said this at first before he even spoke up. That like you don't, even today, generally speaking, the courts favor the mother. And so it was nice to see the judge being like, when there's a competent father, we don't want to like prevent him from having access to the children. Because children need both parents, and it was refreshing to see, and I guess that was the progressive
and they're like, you have a chance now, go,
don't screw it up.
Go be good.
So Daniel says goodbye to the kids, who are being watched by grandma, who must be Sally Field's mom, because she is like staring a hole through him, like with a scowl on her face. And the court liaison meets with Daniel to inform him of how everything will work, and that Daniel demonstrates how he can do voices and is set up with the job boxing and shipping films instead. Because
I love this part.
It was weird.
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Yeah. But it's like obviously this is like to showcase Robin Williams, because this would never ever fly in real life. Like
just one thing after another.
And it was just like clip, cut.
Yeah,
cut, like
all his different hilarious things.
He just keeps going with it. And the lady looked familiar, who was the court liaison.
Really?
She's been in other things.
She was
same kind of role.
Yeah, and Full House.
Oh, I think you're right. She was a heavy in Full House too.
Where like she came from the court and like they're trying to pull something over on her.
Yep. San Francisco.
No! Everywhere you look, there's a court liaison.
So he gets excited because he goes to the studio, and he's like, he thinks he's gonna be an actor or a voice actor, and it ends up being boxing and shipping films, so where they need to be. So Miranda meets with Stu Dunmire and acts smitten to his face, and that is Pierce Brosnan in his prime, might we say? Like and
he's always in his prime.
I was gonna say, is he ever not in his prime?
Right today, he's
and
in his prime.
Do you ever look into his marriage, his personal life, fantastic man, just wonderful man, married to the same woman for 20 to 30 years. She's gone up and down inside, because he's like, well, she had my kids, of course she's going to. He's just a gem of a man, because they were criticizing her because she was a model when they first got together, and he is a doll of a man.
Oh, I love it.
Love it. Great family guy. I have nothing but the best to say about him. So she acts smitten to his face, and they have a history that Stu would like to reconnect. Daniel has the kids to his new apartment, and all are glum. Nothing's unpacked yet, but everybody's just like, this is the worst thing ever.
They hate this apartment.
Calm down.
You're so sad because you don't get to see your dad all the time, but now you're spending time with your dad, and you're just like,
oh, this is
your house sucks. mind.
Yeah, I think it's just they're upset about the whole situation, but it just comes across like as like, oh, it just doesn't.
And they're like super excited when mom comes to pick them up. Like,
yeah. The kids call Daniel out for not trying as hard as he could on the situation and are frustrated that they're only seeing each other one time a week. Daniel is upset and yells at the kids as Miranda arrives 1 hour early to pick them up and was an hour late dropping them off.
Which, that's pretty terrible of her.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Miranda's looking to hire a housekeeper. And she comes in with like the worst excuse. She's like, I have to go drop this off and go to the market. And if you look outside, it is clearly nighttime. What farmer's market are you going to? I mean, that is open past 4 p.m. Seriously. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. But it's also like, he has them for another hour. Go do these things.
Yes. Why
is this your time to not be carting around 3 kids?
I was just like, why would you want to cart 3 kids around?
If anything, she shows up late. Like, I'm sorry, I was running errands.
And it's San Francisco. I'm sure the parking situation at like 90% of these places is not ideal. So like your metered parking. As a parent, I would be like, no, I'm getting everything
gladly
done.
Watch the children as
I know
long
you're
as
not
you
a danger to
tonight.
them. Yeah, so you're going to
Nothing's going to happen. You're eating dinner right now. Like,
but I do know, like, that this does happen with divorce. Like
you get petty with
when my stepkids were young, we had similar experiences and things like that. And, you know, just like, any tit for tat, anything you can do to get at the other person, which is dumb. And the kids, like, are exposed to all this, and they're just bickering back and forth. Yeah, like,
we do.
But they're always doing that, like, in the house. So, like, So she says she's hiring a housekeeper. Daniel asks Miranda if he can watch the kids after school, and she will consider it, but he changes the ad on the slide to, like, alters the phone number.
Yeah, she's, like, about to put an ad in the paper. Like, that's one of the things she has to go do. And so, like, while she's not looking, he, like, changes the phone number so nobody can call her.
He changed it by, like, 1 digit.
Phone number so
like
nobody
a 4
can
to, like,
apply
a
for the
5
job.
or something like that.
But then he calls her.
Yeah. So, she will consider it, right, but he changes the ad on the fly. Daniel calls pretending to be different housekeeping prospects that are all awful until, and he's, like, doing this, like, day by day.
Like, doing different accents and all this. And how does she not pick up?
Thank you. Because, like, let's be real, Robin Williams has a very distinct voice.
The only one that's different is Mrs. Doubtfire.
And she was supposedly married to him for, like, 12 years. You don't think more than that? Their oldest
She's heard all these voices.
You haven't heard these like 18 times.
Right.
Like, Daniel, I know this is you. Stop messing with me. So, and again, this would probably never work today because caller ID. We have to suspend belief again. So he finally pretends to be a good prospect and is hired by Miranda as Mrs. Doubtfire. Daniel goes to his brother to help. Because, like, pretty much it's like a phone interview. And then they're supposed to meet for an actual interview.
And he seems kind of shocked that she wants to meet. And it's like, you never thought you'd come face to face?
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Daniel goes to his brother to help turn me into a woman. I'm so happy! Into Mrs. Doubtfire with great ad-libbing by Robin Williams for some reason, even though he already created this identity. Like, they're going, like, all these different women and all these different voices.
Yeah, he keeps changing the voices. Like, this is not who you call this.
Yeah, exactly. At one point, he's like this little harlot. At one point, he's like this, like, Zsa Zsa Gabor. He's like this Jewish, like, Yenta lady.
Yeah, all these different
like,
wigs
like, with this Russian, like, I'm like, okay.
They're just having a good time.
And I put great Harvey Firestein quips. And then they finally all settle on Mrs. Doubtfire, which, good, because that's who you got hired for, so.
You have to show up as her.
And like, he was like, is it passable? And he's like, any more passable, you'd be mom. So Mrs. Doubtfire goes to meet the children and knocks it out of the park by knowing little things about them already. And also stops Miranda from bashing Daniel in front of them. I'm sure you don't speak this way in front of the children about their father, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she charms Miranda, too, but pries a bit trying to understand what the divorce and the reasonings for it. And Mrs. Euphigenia.
Oh, shoot. How do we say it?
Euphigenia
Doubtfire.
Mrs. Euphigenia Doubtfire, dear.
Euphigenia. How did you come up with
that? I know.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. He nearly blows it by knowing the kitchen too well.
Yeah, he starts like just opening drawers and cabinets.
And she's like, how did you know that was there? And he's
like,
oh,
your way around the kitchen.
And he's like, oh, you just have it organized in the perfect way, dear. This is how you know it.
Of course it is. It's so logical.
Yeah, so logical. That's it. Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire is hired with a tea toast. They were drinking hot tea and catches the bus home and is hit on by the sweetest elderly bus driver you've ever seen in your life. I felt so bad for him that Mrs. Doubtfire wasn't real.
I know. I wanted them to work out.
I hope you've got something warm to come home to. And it's just the sweetest thing. Mrs. Doubtfire arrives home as the court liaison arrives and pretends to be Daniel's sister. Mm-hmm. Daniel plays both parts as he changes into himself again.
Calling back and forth down the hall.
And who talks like that? Sis.
Yeah.
But Liaison wants English tea, which was offered by Daniel. And she makes a great cup of English tea. Oh, I love a cup of English tea. And I'm like, I've done I haven't done in-house work. I came very close to doing in-home work for people, and I would never do that. I would never accept.
Don't drink the tea.
Don't drink the tea. You don't know these people. But seriously, if you're going into somebody's home, why would you?
And it's also this not well put together apartment.
No, you don't know anything about this guy. Come on.
I doubt he cleaned these teacups. You know.
It's offered by Daniel, so he must change back after he's Daniel in the shower. Changes back into Mrs. Doubtfire. He drops the latex mask out the window that his brother made for him.
Got run over by a bus.
Run over by a truck, and his cover is nearly blown, and his mask run over by the truck. But dips face in a cake and pretends it's a face mask. Hello. Because she's coming in the kitchen and he just panics and bam!
Yeah. An iconic scene.
It's my meringue, my egg and meringue.
Face mask keeps me young.
Yeah.
And it's dripping off. And apparently that wasn't planned. It was because the heat of the lights.
Yeah, the light.
Yeah, so it's all just dissolving and they just went with it.
Yeah, and he's making her a tea, one lump or two, and she's like, poop.
Falls in the tea.
It's and I'm like, this is why you don't drink at these people's houses that you don't know.
Just get in and out.
Yes.
Do your job. Get out.
His brother makes Daniel a new face mask, and he's like, take better care of this one. She's an elderly woman.
Well, I read too that the scene where he knocks out the window, it took 50 takes to get it correct.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay, and so Daniel rushes from his day job to Mrs. Doubtfire job, because has to hold down both of them. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Doubtfire insists on homework right away and runs a tighter ship than what the kids are used to, with initial pushback from the kids.
Mm-hmm. Especially the eldest daughter.
But is followed by punishments. And what was her name? The youngest one was Lydia. Liddy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's followed by actual punishments that Mrs. Doubtfire sees through. So all the kids are doing all this housework. The kids miss their dad but suspect nothing, which I find odd too. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you're not, you're not thinking that is this my husband in drag in my house.
Right? That's far fetched. Yes. Yeah. We don't think it's far fetched because we've seen
this
movie.
We grew up with this movie.
He Doubtfired her.
What was that from? I don't know. Something. Mrs. Doubtfire has trouble cooking dinner and lights her latex breasts on fire without any smoke alarm somehow. And she just stays in the shirt. We cut to the next scene. Daniel orders dinners to pass off as his own cooking somehow. I put delightfully devilish Seymour. If you're a Simpsons fan, you will know.
Steamed hams.
So dare I pass them off as my own cooking? So it costs $135.27 though for these dinners because he calls this super fancy restaurant and then has them deliver it in a rush. Mm-hmm. And this is 1993, so probably 92 when they filmed it. Ain't nobody delivering anything.
Yeah, this is in a city.
Yeah, I know, but not like that. That's a bit much. So but Miranda's thrilled when she gets home. She do a clean house, homework done, candlelit dinner served. Lydia apologizes and she runs out to catch Mrs. Doubtfire before she leaves and apologizes for being difficult and bonds with Mrs. Doubtfire. Thanks her for making her mom happy. She's like, I haven't seen my mom that happy ever, And
that's kind of disappointing.
That's
for Daniel.
Yeah, because he's kind of hearing this.
Yeah, I didn't really help.
Yeah. The bus driver again flirts with Mrs. Doubtfire. I put such a sweet old man. And Mrs. Doubtfire bonds with all the kids with their interests in the coming weeks and learns to cook, but does spy Stu dropping Miranda off. All to Aerosmith. Dude looks like a lady.
Looks like a lady.
This is a montage.
Dancing around with the vacuum.
Yeah.
But yes, he's Stu.
And he also thwarts a purse snatching. Like, because it's Robin Williams, like, bam! Like,
he, like, yells at him.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, knock it out! You
voice.
That's mine, you know? Like,
my purse!
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire comes in to find Miranda at home with Stu and the kids all laughing and hands him the Mercedes emblem that she ripped off his car and found.
Oh, I found this outside,
on the street.
Love. Is it yours?
Yeah. And then encourages Miranda to be celibate the rest of her life once the children's father is out of the picture. And she's like, Mrs. Doubtfire, how long was it after your husband passed that, you know, you moved on? Never. But he passed, supposedly.
Right, yeah, that's a little different story.
Yes. Well, once the father of your children has moved on in your life, dear, you can never, it's out of the picture, you can never. That night, Mrs. Doubtfire is staying late to babysit while Miranda goes out with Stu, and Chris walks in on him in the bathroom and knows he's not a woman, and so he says he is, yeah. Because he's standing up to go to the bathroom.
It's also like, lock the door, dude.
Right. You're playing a part, dummy.
Right. Like, you're not going to go in there and, like, adjust anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Daniel explains that it is him and not a stranger, and that Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack helped him. And that it's a part he's playing to see them and nothing else. You know, because at first he's like, do you like dressing like this? They're all freaked out. They're so freaked out. And I'm like, okay. I guess, you know.
Yeah. It'd be a little weird to walk in on your parent.
Like I'd be like, why? Like,
yeah, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But clearly, why? Like,
yeah. And he swears Chris and Lydia to secrecy, but that they can't tell Natty. Natalie is the youngest because she'll
Matilda.
Yeah. Mara Wilson, because she'll rat them out. Like, she'll blow the cover. Yeah. The next day at Daniel's job, he complains about the boring show on TV for kids unknowingly to the head of the channel, Mr. Lundy. But Mr. Lundy is amused by Daniel, and, you know.
He's Williams.
Yep. And he charms everybody. Mrs. Doubtfire arrives to Miranda's to find her upset that the court liaison says that Daniel has a sister living with him, but he has no sister. And they commiserate about fake deceased husband to smooth things over, and finds out that what went wrong in Miranda's marriage. You know, susses that out. Miranda, Mrs. Doubtfire, and the kids arrive to Stu's pool club that's very swanky and high, you know, ritzy and high end. And Mrs. Doubtfire is very passive aggressive the entire time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's not hiding it well here. That he's not taking.
What he said, Mrs. Doubtfire, why don't you go get changed in your cell? Oh no, dear, they've outlawed whaling. You know?
They've outlawed whaling years ago.
No, I think I'll just set up shop over at the bar.
The nice cold drink.
Yep,
you enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, you awful man! You stop trying to. So Daniel talks to himself and acknowledges the absurdity of the situation, but drowns his sorrows at the pool bar. As Mrs. Doubtfire. He overhears Stu's conversation about how the kid's real father is a loser when he comes to the bar to get iced teas or something. And he loves them all and loses it, indulging in a run-by fruiting at the end. Because,
oh, dearie!
Yeah, because Stu, after he says, like, you know, that, oh, well, the kid's father's a real loser. Yeah, that's why he's not in the picture. Yeah. He whips, like, a lime at him or something.
Yeah, in the back of the head he hits him.
And he hits him. And
he's looking around.
Oh, dear! Oh, a run-by fruiting!
The culprit just ran.
Yeah, it just ran that way.
But what he's saying is nice. Like, he's like how much he adores the kids, and he's just smitten with them.
But he's only getting Miranda's side of the story too. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But it's not that he's a bad guy.
Yeah. No,
it's
he's
just
not.
That he's not talking highly of Daniel.
Evil, I'm gonna send him to boarding school.
Yes.
You know.
In the original script, they made him where he was like just
plotting.
like not. I don't know about boarding school, but like just not as a good guy, but then they changed it to
I'm glad they did, because that's why this movie stands the test of time, because it's a very realistic portrayal of divorce and what happens after divorce. Yeah. Because, like, that's the whole thing. Like, every movie where there's a divorce, the wicked step-parent comes in and it just wants the mom or the dad and to get rid of the kids.
Parent trap.
Yeah, parent trap. Exactly. Since the 60s, this has been happening, so... This is not a new thing, and this was the first movie to kind of show a more realistic portrayal of that with Robin Williams. So it's still not totally realistic.
Yes,
but,
you had to be a little.
Yes. Okay, so run by fruiting. Daniel's at work and plays around on the TV set when he thinks no one's around. As Mr. Lundy overhears, and he wants to hear Daniel's ideas next Friday night at a dinner meeting. And so Daniel's like, I could finally get back, into what I'm supposed to be doing, because he's like an actor. He's not supposed to be boxing and mailing films to people. Kids are with Daniel at his place and proud of how well he's doing, cooking and cleaning. He's keeping up with his house and their house, essentially.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of work.
He's doing a lot of work. And they do not live in a shack, Miranda Hillard. They live in a huge house in San Francisco. I think it must be worth millions. Yes. Miranda comes and asks to take the kids... Miranda comes and Daniel asks to take the kids after school since she's so impressed with his house, but she can't let go of Mrs. Doubtfire. They love her. She's brought the best in all of them, Miranda is picking out dresses for her birthday dinner as Stu is taking her out, and Mrs. Doubtfire and the kids are also invited, but is dismayed that it is Friday night at 7 p.m. at the same restaurant.
Yeah.
What was the restaurant name?
I don't know. But she's like asking advice, like, which dress do you think? He's like, oh dear, you're going to wear that?
Not the red. It's traditionally the color of streetwalkers. No, here's this frock.
Yes. This is lovely. She's like, I wore that to a funeral.
I wore that to my aunt's funeral 20 years ago. Okay, so it's at the same restaurant as Daniel's dinner meeting with Mr. Lundy, and Mrs. Doubtfire tries to get out of it for bingo, but agrees for some reason. I said, why would you agree?
Say no.
You have you have all this riding on this job. This job to move up. Yeah, this is the head of the network.
Dinner without you, Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, well, it has to be. I'm busy.
Yes, I'm so sorry, dear. I can't make it. I have this commitment. And this is it. Yeah.
This drives the story forward. So
yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It's just, this part makes me cringe.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It is one of those things I couldn't wait for it to be over, because the whole time I'm just like...
Yes. Okay. So Daniel, and it's the last half hour of the movie, so I know it can't be too terribly long, but I'm still just like, I don't like the hijinks. Get the hijinks out of here. So, Daniel is unable to reschedule with Mr. Lundy and is stuck because, Mr. Lundy's booked through May or whatever, And so, his receptionist is like, I strongly recommend you do not cancel this meeting.
Yeah, this is your chance. One. Yeah.
Cut to Friday at Bridges restaurant. And all arrive at once, and Mrs. Doubtfire requests the smoking section to avoid being near Mr. Lundy because she was a smoker, and... it's the only thing that keeps her from going back to smoking is being around other smokers and reminding her why.
They're like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever you want, Mrs. Doubtfire.
I'm like, the days when there was a smoking section in a restaurant.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Daniel calls to alert Mr. Lundy he's running late, and stuck in traffic. Stu got Miranda a tennis bracelet for her birthday and is asked by Natalie to take her to the bathroom. And she's like, Mrs. Doubtfire, can you take her? Oh, no, Mommy, I want... And she's like, she's asking for you, dear. Mrs. Doubtfire shoos the other kids from the table and talks to Stu about his intentions for Miranda and tries to get rid of him, saying a whole bunch of off-the-cuff Robin Williams things. His more adult humor. Yes. And to try to scare Stu off. Mr. Lundy is getting visibly impatient because we can kind of see him from the table. Yeah. So Mrs. Doubtfire goes to transform into Daniel and does so in the ladies' room since Miranda and Natalie catch her going into the men's room.
And they're like, Mrs. Doubtfire, that's the wrong one.
Oh, heavens! Yes. So she goes, Daniel goes to Mr. Lundy and engages in some nonsensical bro speech. I was like, and grunts and weird, like, they were not having like a conversation. Like, it's like
quips back and forth. Yeah, like,
scallywag.
Scallywag.
I'm like, who says that? I was like, that's obviously a holdover from Hook.
They're bonding though.
Yeah,
whatever.
I guess so. Yeah. But the other group is waiting to order, so he must retransform into Mrs. Doubtfire. I put this goes on back and forth with various hijinks.
So many
hijinks. Daniel forgets his perfume and pretends he was and lipstick at one point, and pretends he was making out with a waitress that used to be a girlfriend of his, and goes to see Mr. Lundy asks if she has a lady friend for him, and he's like, does your girlfriend have a girlfriend? Maybe, this is the 90s. He's like, no, for me, a lady friend. And so he leaves again to go
like, check, and then goes transforms back on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep. Okay, and let's see. Goes to see, and also sabotages Stu's dinner at that point, as Stu has ordered the jambalaya, which is the most spicy dish you can order, I'm sure, at Bridges. Bridges didn't look like it was known for its Cajun cooking.
No.
But that he's allergic to pepper, of all things. I put, of all things, pepper. Pepper. Not chili powder.
Yeah.
Not pepper. Okay.
Like,
pepper.
Like
not like a chili pepper. Like the black pepper you put on a salad. Yeah, okay. Yes. So he's allergic to pepper, and he shows up, so Robin Williams hears that they're calling for the food for that table, so he quickly puts some pepper on Stu's
goes in the
dish,
kitchen
and then shows up. Yeah,
you're already hijinking enough here. Now you're gonna throw this into the mix.
So he shows up as Mrs. Doubtfire to Mr. Lundy by mistake because he gets so beside himself.
Plops down and just and starts shouting. He's like,
Daniel, what you doing?
You're dressed like a woman.
I am. And he's like, and he's introducing her to Mr. Lundy to Mrs. Doubtfire as his new host of his show, and that's how he pitches it. This is your character. This is who he's gonna. Very smart. Yes, he thought on his feet at least. Maybe it's the wine he's drinking at that table and the bourbon he's drinking at that table.
Mixing a whole lot of
There's
stuff.
a lot of hard drinking going on. Stu receives his tainted jambalaya and chokes, and Mrs. Doubtfire saves him, but reveals Daniel as
help is on the way,
as his literal mask slips, comes off, and Miranda storms out the door. Dan, the whole time. That was the best Sally Field.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Because the whole time I'm not into Miranda very much either. I'm not.
I also wasn't believing that Stu would be like fawning over her.
With her, she has her Steel Magnolias helmet haircut.
She's definitely looking like a mom.
Like a
90s,
mom.
Not a hot mom in the 90s.
No. And and like all her little like button up to the collar ensembles, like I'm just not buying that. That Mr. Pierce Brosnan himself would be into that, but unless we know that she is Sally Field, who is the classic actress Sally Field. That's the only way she'd be marketable to him, but not. Not in this. No, not as an interior designer. I don't buy it. But anyways, so she storms out the door. But that's the best part of her, I think, in the whole movie. Because The next court hearing, Daniel represents himself for some reason, and pleads insanity due to his love for his children. And I'm like, dude, this is why you need an attorney.
Yeah, don't call yourself insane.
Don't go in unrepresented. Come on. Okay. And despite meeting the housing and job requirements, he still did this to try to see his children more, even though it was a 3-month span, dude. Suck it up, get through it, get your kids back. The judge was throwing you a bone. He says if you meet these 2 requirements,
these very easy to do, one job and then you can get the apartment. It's that simple.
Yeah. And then you can have your kids 50-50. And instead we want to have this crazy scheme. So I'm sorry. I love this movie. But I think he
was holding out the hope too that he could drive them back together.
Oh, maybe.
Like he was gonna.
But still.
Talk up Daniel enough to send him back.
I guess. But, yeah. He wasn't planning on Stu Dunmire entering the picture. Stu Dunmire has entered the chat. And so the judge, however, moves him to supervised visits and need for psychological testing and potential treatment. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
that's exactly.
Fair.
He's lucky he only got supervised visitation and not just like, nope, you cannot see these kids.
Right.
Like this
could have been ripped away from
like
him.
you need to be evaluated.
Crazy scheme here. Yeah.
Again, though, too, like, I guess, like, okay, we're all weirded out with the outfit and everything. However, again, this is San Francisco in the 1990s, and we're close enough to where we're doing, like, Hollywood TV work and stuff like that. We're, again, much like Three Men and a Little Lady, where I can't believe you came in a Dracula outfit to a school interview. We're shocked that somebody's in a costume. Like, right. I don't buy that either.
That's his business,
yes,
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's known to be in this business for many years.
Yeah.
Okay. I there's a lot of problems I have, but I still love this movie. I still love the story. I love the message. I don't love exactly all the ways it was executed.
Yes.
Okay. So just to be clear. Okay. Just to be clear.
Climb down off your soapbox. It's okay.
Just to be clear.
Always Sunny reference.
Always
Sunny. You're a fan.
The Nightman. Okay, so Miranda is unable to find a suitable housekeeper, and the kids all miss Mrs. Doubtfire, including Miranda, but frustrated as she wasn't real. And yeah, hi, you're asking somebody to come be a housekeeper, but a babysitter too, and cook your dinner.
A housekeeper, a chef.
Yeah. You're asking for all
everything. And come out on Friday nights too. You're not busy.
You don't have your own life going on. You're just with us. So, okay. All hear Mrs. Doubtfire's voice, though, from the other room and go running out and hear on TV. It's the new children's show is airing and are all enchanted by Mrs. Doubtfire being the host of this children's show on TV. Miranda goes down to the studio, the TV studio, where the Mrs. Doubtfire show is wrapping up, and Mr. Lundy is thrilled with the success of the show. It's doing great. It's been on for several weeks now. Miranda goes to talk to Daniel and says that the kids have watched every day. Well, first she said the kids watched every day, so she's watching it too. She doesn't want to hurt the kids, and they were happier with Mrs. Doubtfire, who brought out the best in all of them. And the kids and Daniel both need each other. She recognizes that, and Miranda, is able to see that happens because he brings it up that they need each other. She realizes that he's not wrong. The next day, their new babysitter arrives because at first she falls in the trap of like kind of going tit for tat with him again. Yeah. And then she's like, "No, we can't do this anymore. Like this is not helping anything or anyone." Not helping the kids. Yeah. Again, the next day, a new babysitter arrives to nervous and glum Hillard kids and is revealed to be Daniel as himself.
The babysitter!
Who will take the kids a few hours each day after school, and Miranda took care of the court order. I'm like, thank goodness it wasn't just... What was the other movie we watched? Was it It Takes Two or something where they just rip it up and like that's the end of it? There's no there is another movie where they just like rip it up like this is the end.
They burn it.
They burn it
in the fire.
Shoot, what is that? That's gonna drive me nuts. That's gonna drive me nuts. Think of ponder it.
It's the Santa Claus.
Yes!
Santa Claus.
Yes!
Yep.
And that's why it reminded me of this, because the mom from the Santa Claus
looks like
Sally Field in this movie with the hair. It's the hair.
It's the hair.
Yeah, she's like, just throws it in the fire. That's it.
That's it. We took care of it.
It's not on
record anymore. You're not insane anymore. It's all taken care of.
All done. So she took care of the court order. Mrs. Doubtfire show wraps up in the other room as the kids leave with Daniel. As little Katie McCormick is given an explanation that there are all kinds of families and with love as they love each other as the kids leave with Daniel unsupervised, and that love is the most important part of any family, whether it's a grandma and grandpa or, a foster parents or your mom and dad or just mom, just dad. All families are okay as long as love is present.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire.
And
beautiful
again,
message.
They leave with Daniel unsupervised. Crane shot. The end.
The end. You need a good crane shot, especially in San Francisco.
Get the hills. Get the ambiance of it all. But yes.
Woo, what a ride this was.
And I remember multiple times it's being on TV and me missing it and catching that last scene where his station wagon is driving away. I'm like, I missed it again.
There it is. Off into the sunset again.
Because back in the day, you couldn't just call up something on demand. No, you had to wait for it to be aired again.
For it to come around or go rent it.
Yeah. Do you have any fun facts?
Well, it's Robin Williams. So this was a lot of takes.
I'm sure.
There are...
Wasn't this supposed to be like 300 minutes of footage
no
that's just on the cutting room floor?
There's so much that they never used. Yeah. Because he would film... He filmed everything by the script. Mm-hmm. And then went back and filmed it with improv.
Okay.
So they had both versions so they could pick and choose what they wanted. So a lot of it was improv, but some of it was in the actual script as well. And Sally Field said that, like, she loved Robin Williams, but it was exhausting working with him because they had to do so many times.
You weren't just rapping.
Right.
You were like,
it was like you felt like you nailed it, and then you have to do it again because like he wants to try it a different way.
That would be draining. I don't think I'd
so she said like it was exhausting working for this part.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. But so, and there's like different versions of, there's like a PG, a PG-13, an R. I think there might even be like an NC-17. I don't know. But it was always in mind for it to be PG-13. Yeah. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I think it's PG-13.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, that's fine. Let the viewers.
It might be PG. It was 93. This was the era of like PG.
You could get away with
you could get away with a lot of stuff from PG.
True.
I feel like this might be PG.
Maybe.
Because it was marketed to kids. It wasn't
marketed that's true. It was.
As like a strictly kids movie. Anybody movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. I feel like I had more and
they're
gone. They're gone from my brain.
They left. They went. But I do love Robin Williams, of course, classic. I think this is one of his most well-known roles. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a epitome of his roles. And
you still hear about all the time. Like, this is still a popular...
It touched a lot of people, too, like, growing up. Because, like, again, like, they would show it a lot on TV. A lot of kids were kind of going through similar things. And I think it struck a chord to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, too. Like, they didn't like it at first because it had, like, the first... I forget what it was.
They didn't get back together.
They had an unhappy ending. So then they changed it and made it a happy ending. And they're like, this isn't
real.
Feel right. Yeah. Yeah, like, this wouldn't happen this way. So that... reversed again.
Reverse.
Yeah. Switch it, change it, rearrange it.
It's a neutral ending. Is it a happy ending or a sad ending? It's an ending. That's
an ending.
Well, like, I've heard that recently, too. Yeah, like, because too many things are... like kind of gloss things over for kids sometimes too, and it makes it unrealistic.
Yes.
Like the Bluey episode with the sign.
If you're
a Bluey fan and your kids watch or you watch it, Bluey's a fantastic show for everybody. Mm-hmm. But there's an episode where they're moving. There's a moving sign like for sale out in front of their house. They're gonna move. This is happening. So many parents were like, "Oh, thank goodness!
I'm
like
moving.
We're
this
moving.
Is great
this
to show my
the
kids."
At the end, they just there's an offer on the house. They move all the furniture out, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're changing our mind."
They decide not to sell then, and it's like so they stayed in their house, and all the parents were like,
"No, we have to move. My husband's in the military. We have to."
Now my kids think we can stay.
And it's the same kind of thing because back in the day, every divorce movie was the parents get back together at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. So I get it.
The Doubtfire, it wasn't actually a mask. Like they just used that.
Sure.
Yeah, it was like
prop.
It was 8 different pieces.
Latex, makeup. I would imagine.
And then when Robin Williams was asked about like the bodysuit, he said it was like latex and beans. Like it felt like a beanbag chair walking around.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I was picturing like foam.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't picturing beans.
Yeah, but it was a little more... And
it seems like it would be a problem for filming with noise too. Like
maybe not actual beans, but that's what it felt like was like latex and beans.
Gotcha.
It's probably like what's inside a beanbag where you have that little little balls.
I know what you mean. Where it is kind of like not styrofoam, but something around that.
Something similar to that.
Along those lines.
But yeah, it must have been uncomfortable.
It seemed uncomfortable. It seemed like a lot of time in the makeup chair for that. Harvey Fierstein did good work.
Yeah. And there's something like Pierce Brosnan didn't get a role in another movie, but they had him in contract with the studio, so they're like, let's give him this role.
Okay.
Like, this we want to use him. He's good. So
okay, yeah, because he was kind of just up and coming at this time.
Yeah, like he hadn't had his big Bond.
No, he wasn't yet. James Bond yet. Yeah. And I'm wondering if he was in much. I
don't know much about his,
what his discography
career.
is. Yeah. Obviously Robin Williams was the name. Sally Field was a huge name in this movie. The kids, like at least the youngest two kind of had careers going forward. I don't know about the older girls so much.
Know Lydia too much.
No, I think she was in something else before this and got this part because she was in. I forget what it was though.
She wasn't. Yeah, she's in something because she has a familiar face, but I don't know.
And of course, like Matthew Lawrence and the Lawrence brother,
love the Lawrences.
Love the Lawrences, all three of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what that Joey was my favorite just because of Blossom.
I liked Andy for a long time.
I did like Andy. I was when I was
older. He had a moment, where he was like a Disney star. Yes. And they had that show. The three of them were on together, Brotherly Love.
But because like Andy was always kind of like the little dumpy kid.
Baby brother, yeah.
But he wasn't like very like, they didn't make him like attractive like the other two. And then he kind of got attractive. Yeah. He was like, whoa,
yeah, when he was then like a teenager and he was in Disney movies, and I was like, oh.
Yes. That's when I was into him. Yeah, but I was like, oh yeah, like, okay, look at you.
I'm a Matthew fan.
Yes, well, everybody's a Matthew fan, but yeah. Who doesn't love a Lawrence, really? Let's be real.
They're lovely.
And their podcast is fun, too.
Yes.
But we thank you for joining us. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Think. There's probably something back in my Rolodex, but it's gone now. Best to move on. Yeah.
Oh, dearie. That's quite all right. But we thank you so much for joining us. Please look in the description below to this video. It has our links for our Facebook and Instagram pages. We are at Sisters in Ebert on Facebook and Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all the things to get us going in the algorithm. Get us moving on up to the east side. To that deluxe YouTube channel in the sky.
Oh, we can only imagine.
My son, my 7-year-old, keeps asking how many subscribers we have, and he's like, "Did you get to 3,000 yet?" That's what I'm like, or 30,000. I forget what it is. Something when you get like recognized by YouTube, and I'm like, no, no, honey, we have not. But I like your optimism. I like your optimism. Don't let him down. Don't let him down.
A sweet little 7-year-old boy with a twinkle in his eye would like you to subscribe to this channel.
We thank you though for following along with us this week, and we ask that you continue to follow along with us. On Fridays we post our little teasers on our social media, and on Mondays is when we release our video for the week, so please come out and watch and engage all the things. Thank you so much though for following along with us, and we'll see you next Monday at the movies.